Eufy's new Video Doorbell Duo has 2 cameras so you can see visitors and packages with no problem. This also has some exciting new features on top of that, which doesn't exist on any other doorbell. Now, should you actually buy one of these? Well, maybe. Let me show you what I found out testing this firsthand. Alright, before we get into the features, let's take a quick look at the hardware. Next to Eufy's previous battery doorbell, the Video Doorbell Dual battery is slightly larger, but still works similar since they both have 2K cameras and have around 6 months of battery life. And just like the old one, you do have to take down the doorbell to charge it using the micro USB port. But you can power this by wiring it. There will also be a separate wired-only version soon. You don't have to look very closely to find the main difference, a second camera. That's right, this doorbell has another camera. You don't see that very often, which is kind of surprising because it makes so much sense. Maybe one day video doorbells will be like phones with all of their cameras now. The idea is when someone delivers a package, normal doorbells don't record low enough to see your entire porch. So this doorbell's second camera is facing down to solve that problem. This second camera has a slightly lower resolution, but still looks great. Oh, and there's also LEDs right next to it for extra light at night. But you cannot disable them, so if you're going to use this doorbell on battery power, you might take a slight hit. The second camera is pretty easy to work with. You can choose how you want the footage from both cameras to display in the Eufy app. I like the split view because it stacks the feeds on top of each other. It's cool to watch someone move from one camera to the other when putting down a package. Typically, video doorbells that I've tested have some kind of trade-off with the aspect ratio that they choose. A wide view or a vertical view are just gonna miss things. The wide angle square view is nice, but kinda squeezes everything in. And with this Eufy dual camera, you kinda get the best of both worlds. You can even expand the bottom doorbell view and see that the 2 cameras overlap so you won't miss anything. Besides using the second camera to view packages, Eufy took it a step further with package detection. Now when it detects a package, you can tap on it to see details like when it was delivered and jump to the footage of it being delivered. I've never seen anything like it, and it makes it so convenient. There are other features like Delivery Guard, which will play a custom audio message to anyone who walks up to your porch while a package is still there.
Hey, you can't touch this.
Or there's package reminders to notify you if you forgot to bring it inside. I tested these features and honestly, they were a little buggy. The audio response wasn't consistent and I never got notified if my package was left on the porch for a while. It also did not detect packages if the motion sensitivity was turned up too high in the app. Or if the package was not placed right under the doorbell, it was hit or miss on detecting it. Eufy admits that package detection is not 100% because there are so many factors at play. And I am using the beta app, so things may improve. And I hope they do because it's very exciting when everything's working the way it should. One thing I was not expecting to see on a Eufy doorbell is face recognition, and this one has it. The way it works is that you can take a picture or upload one of a family member in the app. Then it can recognize if it's a family member or a stranger at the door. Registering my face worked really well. I took a picture inside with my hat on, and it recognized me outside without a hat. So hats off to you, Eufy. This is supposed to reduce false alerts so I don't get notified when it's just me or a family member walking in and out. Here's the thing though, it works great alerting me who's at the door using face recognition, but I couldn't disable motion alerts for certain people, like if Allie or I were walking in and out of the door, which I kinda was hoping it would. Oh well. The app also shows an option for custom responses for certain faces when they press the doorbell. How cool! I was getting really excited for all the possibilities of this, but it didn't work. They also have an interesting feature called loitering detection. It can say a quick response to whoever is standing there.
Get your ugly, no good keister out of here.
The longest time you can set for this feature is 25 seconds, which is a little too fast in my opinion. And it will also trigger if you're like talking to your neighbor on the doorstep, so you might want to be careful on what it says.
Do you want to buy any of these?
Get your ugly, no good keister out of here.
I guess you don't want any Girl Scout cookies.
Wait, come on. Come back here. Don't listen to that. When it comes to picture quality, I was thrilled to see HDR on the box. and radar to help with motion detection. That all sounds great. After looking at the video footage, the clarity was good because it has that 2K sensor, but I don't know if I would actually say it has HDR. I mean, look at the background. It looks like I'm ascending onto my front porch from a heavenly cloud. It still looks like the old WDR on the previous Eufy battery doorbell. You can really see the difference when compared with other doorbells with better HDR. Notice how you can see everything on the porch and the street? Yes, I tried turning HDR on or off in the Eufy app, and it didn't change a thing. If you're like, I don't need to see people on my sidewalk, well, this has a bigger impact than you might expect. Because the exposure is so bad, it doesn't detect people from far away, which ties into my biggest complaint with this doorbell. It's slow to recognize people for recordings. By the time I walked up and put down a package at the speed of a typical Amazon worker, it only captured the back of my head. Maybe if I was Lord Voldemort in the Sorcerer's Stone this would work, but not for us muggles. Oh, and the radar I mentioned earlier, I'm not really sure what's going on, but it didn't seem to help. I even turned up the motion sensitivity to the highest it would go, and it didn't really make a difference. But don't worry, at the end of this video, I'll explain why some of this stuff might not be as big of a deal. Eufy's dual cam doorbell still gets a lot of things right. Night vision looked good, the two-way voice was nice and loud.
This is what the speaker sounds like on the doorbell.
And pulling up the live view was quick with very low latency. Now if you can get past some of the frustrations with motion recording, this doorbell has some of the things I love about Eufy. There's free storage using the home base, so you don't have to worry about monthly fees for cloud storage. A lot of people buy Eufy products purely for this reason. You can also give custom quick responses that you record in the app. Seems like a simple feature, but it's randomly not offered by most other doorbells. It also works with Google and Amazon Echo speakers for additional chimes, but there's no HomeKit support, unfortunately. It has an activity zone for motion detection on each camera. They're not the most flexible, but in the app it says they're gonna improve that soon. That'll make a big difference. I also really like the option to have thumbnail previews for push notifications. Alright, now the real question. Should you actually get it? Well, if your deliveries end up right next to your front door, it might make sense. This happened at our last house all the time. In our new house, people almost always put packages behind the pillars, so this second camera isn't as necessary. But I love that the storage is free, plus all the features like face and package detection are included. Honestly, if you're gonna mount a camera on the front of your house, you might not need to worry about great HDR or fast event recording on a doorbell. But if the video doorbell is gonna be your only camera in front of your house, you might wanna consider better options, especially for around $250. The Ring Pro 2, Nest Hello, and Unified G4 doorbells are around the same price and solve some of these issues. Of course, some of them have fees for cloud storage or extra upfront costs. Now, if I want a video doorbell that has a lot of features and no fees, it's hard to go wrong with the Eufy dual cam doorbell, especially if you have another camera in front of your house keeping an eye on things. And I'll keep testing this as well as a lot of other video doorbells, so make sure you're following the channel for more updates.
I don't think this new Eufy doorbell is working right. I mean, there's no way we're getting this many packages.
It must be the beta app.